And hello again, boys and girls. Welcome back to the channel. It's of course your host Marley Startled, and we are continuing on our Confederate campaign. So as we last left off at Chancellorsville, doing a pretty quick and efficient Chancellorsville, we're now going to move on to hopefully Gettysburg. But before we do Gettysburg, we've got to do our first battle, which is the Battle of Brandy Station. Well, it's pretty good right now. I can see the enemy army is getting stronger, their training is getting higher, and their army size is pretty much on match with ours. If we take a look, we've got about the same size, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 100k troops, and so we'll see how well we perform at trying to drive the enemy back. Gettysburg will perhaps be the turning point, much like it was historically for the Confederacy. As the Union manpower begins to overtake ours, and we will hopefully try and avoid taking too many casualties. I'm in fact going to buy some more recruits in preparation for that turning point, because I do want to have a reserve of manpower for the next oncoming battles where I'll be taking heavy casualties. In any case, we will not beat around the bush and get straight into it with our first battle, the Battle of Brandy Station. So the 9th of June 1863. Our army is going to invade Union territories in search of supplies and food. You are in temporary command of the Confederate cavalry that will screen the advance northeast and mask the movements of your main army. You have encamped around Brandy Station, and tomorrow you are going to continue forward. However, it seems that the Yankees have massed their cavalry during the night from the other side of the Raton Rock River to repel your forces. It is more than certain that they are going to advance to your position at Brandy Station. Our main army encamped a few miles west and must remain hidden, so you must repel the enemy's cavalry at Brandy Station. So if you lose, you get minus 20 and no manpower. If you win, you get 2,500, and if you draw, you get 700 men. Now in this battle, because you won't be using any of your own troops, you can really just go nuts and hand us throwing your troops away. So in this case, we can just go ham. So Bulford's cavalry has crossed Beverly's Ford with his brigade and is approaching our position. We have to get ready for the battle. We must halt their advance here at Brandy Station. We've lost contact with the Federal cavalry moving to the south, but we must keep an eye in this direction in case the Yankees attempt to encircle your army. So the first thing we do is immediately draw these cavalry back. Let's take a look at their equipment. Okay. Let's see if we can put these troops anywhere and to defend. So if we move these guys here. And horse. It's a big old cavalry battle by the looks of things. So we're going to mass our cannons in the centre. Move our troops to defend wherever possible. And send our elite force to be our sort of counterweight in case the enemy does try to do anything too rash. So we got a couple of elite corps as well. Quite strong elite corps. So I have a feeling we'll be just about fine. From there we can just max our speed out. Move our cannons up to where we think the enemy will be coming from. And see what happens. So you can see enemy cavalry moving on the right. So immediately we'll move our infantry over to cancel their advance. Guess that was a nice lovely route. And all you're really doing is just trying to maintain your defensive positions. Not the worst battle. A bit harder for the Union because of the reinforcing enemy cavalry that can turn up. But a battle that is not too demanding. I don't mind too much enemy cannons firing on us. I don't really care about the damage that inflicts. So the way I have to do is hold Brandy Station. Not the most challenging of objectives. Especially because a lot of our troops are equipped with fairly good weapons. I mean, Spencer carbines aren't the worst. What's their fire rate? 86, yeah, it could be worse. Also hopes that infantry unit is not doing anything. And I'm more than happy for this cannon to be the crux of the bait, to be constantly bombarded. I've got plenty of cannons, so that's not even well for me. Not a difficult level. Much more harder for your Union, because you have a very limited amount of cavalry, and because you're having to push in trench positions, it can be quite difficult, especially as cavalry works, where it's very knife fighty in regards that one volley can send your cavalry into being useless. I mean, if we're feeling particularly devilish, we can try and do some dodgy stuff here. Just a hot gaping hole where a crater where our poor old cannons obviously get bombarded. What a shame. And a glorious victory. Easy battle. Not challenging the slightest. That gives a load of money, and we can go one more of our army training. See if we can add another corps, but we can't yet, so hey ho. In any case, we're finally moving on to the Battle of Gettysburg. So because we won the Battle of Chancellorsville, the enemy has minus 10% morale. And because, of course, we won Vandy Station, minus 5% army size. So, Gettysburg, the 1st of July, 1863. We're invading the Union soil for a second time after our latest consecutive successes on the battlefield. We hope to achieve a decisive victory that could end the war politically, but we also want to gather supplies for our army outside of war-torn state of Virginia. General Hooker, leading the Army of the Potomac, began to pursue our army in Pennsylvania. However, his poor performance at Chancellorsville and his very cautious maneuvers eventually led Lincoln to suddenly replace him with General Meade. Although you have been ordered to avoid a general engagement with the enemy until we can fully assemble our army on carefully chosen ground, one of your division generals disobeyed that order by aggressively advancing to the town of Gettysburg. While most of our units are operating too far away from the main army, we must now gather our forces and counter the Union threat at Gettysburg. So, time for a history lesson, I believe. Yes, time for a history lesson. So the Battle of Gettysburg is sort of deemed as the Confederate high water mark. After the Battle of Gettysburg, the Confederate army would slowly get progressively weaker through attrition, loss, a desertion, and just the general wearing down of Union forces. At the same time, the Confederate war effort was now stretched to breaking point, even though it was always being stretched to breaking point. And for the most part, big things started to slowly go back from badly wrong, whether it happens in the west with the collapse of the Western Front and a march to Atlanta, or however it happens in the east with, of course, the Battle of the Wilderness and eventually the siege of Petersburg. I think it's Petersburg. What you see here is the end point of the Confederate sort of glory days. You have these bold tactical maneuvers and acts of brilliance. Now, Gettysburg is an interesting one because it understands the necessity or why Gettysburg came to be. So as we referred to earlier, General Lee realized that he could not keep his armies in Confederate territory because the cost of maintaining them was simply too high. And with Virginia pretty much war-torn at this stage, it was extremely important for him to hopefully move into Union territory to gain supplies and put pressure on the Union government, or under Abraham Lincoln and so on and so forth, under the Democrats. No, under the Republicans, under Abraham Lincoln. The idea was by putting enough pressure on Washington, they of course would potentially force Abraham Lincoln into a bad political situation that could potentially lead to peace talks. At the same time, it could demonstrate to European powers that the Confederacy was still capable of winning the war, and therefore perhaps invite them over to intervene. Now again, historians are a little bit iffy on whether or not that was ever going to happen, especially after the Emancipation Proclamation, after the Battle of Antietam. But the logic was there and it made sense. Of course, if they were just doing what they're doing, constantly defensive actions, then the Confederate army was bound to lose, or the Confederacy was bound to lose. Therefore, it needed to be offensive out of necessity to get supplies, put political pressure on the Union, hopefully force for peace talks, and of course, potentially get European intervention. All of these may have been a bit of a far-flung idea, but the logic was there, and it was a better option than just staying in Virginia, especially after sending the Union Army reeling at Chancellorsville. So, of course, they set off, and unfortunately for General Lee, he was sucked into the Battle of Gettysburg after a divisional commander went in there. Whether or not I was after over boots or not is up to, again, historical debate, but all you need to know is that this was a battle on land General Lee did not really want to fight on. At the same time, his cavalry commander, Jeb Stuart, was marching around the Union armies trying to get reconnaissance. Now, he had done this before to great effect in the previous campaign, and so he just did it again. But this time, because of his bold audacity, he wasn't able to bring intelligence back to General Lee. So when the battle started, General Lee was very much blind when it came to the engagement. So what happened is, of course, eventually Confederate corps got sucked into the battle, and the Union set up a very strong defensive line on Cemetery Road, I think, or Cemetery Ridge, and on Little Round Top, Little Big Top, and the hills sort of overseeing Gettysburg, where they began to dig in. Generally, of course, after the initial offensive, attacked on the left and right flanks, I think, depending on the day. I can't remember if they attacked on the left on the first day, on the right on the second day, but it makes no difference. He attacked on both flanks initially to see, assuming that, hoping to turn the Union flank but both were extremely well reinforced. So this gave the idea to General Lee. A lot of people say that was an idiotic idea to charge the centre, but using the logic and the information he had, he assumed that the flanks were strong and the centre was weak, and therefore it led to Pickett's charge, where there was a general assault across the centre line, and it led to Pickett's division being more or less wiped out. I think it's division, but I'm going to have to check. This was pretty much a mirror of Fredericksburg, where against the supremacy of the defensive, these sort of defensive, the supremacy of the defensive, these sort of assaults were insanity. It also didn't help that Meade was constantly moving his troops and reinforcing different parts of the front. So by the third day, he had in fact reinforced the centre. So potentially, again, if we went all history, what happened if General Meade hadn't reinforced the centre? Maybe it would have been weak enough to break through. But the truth of the matter is, regardless of the situation, either whether it was bad luck, or bad decision making, General Lee was unfortunately repulsed and therefore had to withdraw. General Meade, of course, did not follow, following the stereotype of the indecisive Union commander, and General Lee was able to escape back down south. Seemed as the Confederate high water mark, where I believe at one part of the battle, the Confederate troops actually did manage to breach a part of the Union line before being repulsed. After that, there was no real element of success in terms of successful offensive tactics or strategy by the Confederacy. They were no longer really the capacity for offensive actions, and all they could really hope for is drawn out peace negotiations because of the cost of the war. Now you can strike parallels with that to other combats going on, to other engagements and wars going on as we speak about a smaller force going up against a larger force and hoping to drain that larger force into surrender. But we won't get too far into politics about that. The simple and sad fact of the matter is that after this battle, the Confederacy was more or less on the losing streak, and it could only really win from either external intervention, which at this stage was never going to happen, especially after Gettysburg, or by simply political failings in the Union and elections that would force Abraham Lincoln out to be hopefully replaced in the Confederate mind with someone a bit more reconciliatory with the Confederate government. Regardless, it is a famous battle. I think if you watch Gods and Generals, it covers the Confederate campaign up to Chancellorsville, and I think Gettysburg covers the Battle of Gettysburg itself. Very good films to watch if you want to know about the American Civil War, especially from the Confederate perspective, and of course Gettysburg covers the Union perspective very well. Now in this game, Gettysburg can actually be won very quickly and very easily just by simply winning on the first day and taking Cemetery Ridge, because that would invalidate the entire Union attack. Simply because they wouldn't have anywhere to set themselves up. This is perhaps the best tactic to do as a Confederacy for this battle, because of course it saves you casualties. So we will be attempting to win on the first day. Failing that, we'll try and win on the second or third. But it's a very interesting battle in terms of historical perspective, because of course General Lee is often known as a very innovative, genius tactical and strategic commander who was really quite clever in the way he broke up his forces and concentrated them on decisive points, and rolling up the enemy line by having numerical superiority. In this sort of matched battle, he doesn't really do that, and it ends up sort of being a bit of a slog. It's an interesting battle, a unique battle for the period, which is where the Confederates really do get a bloody nose, and it is a very symbolic battle for the changing fortunes for the Confederacy. So we will put our best corps in the centre, our second corps on the second attack wave, and our final corps on tomorrow's reinforcements. The aim, of course, will be to punch through the centre and drive the Union back. So one of the divisions is marching towards the town of Gettysburg in a reconnaissance mission. The Army of the Potomac pursues our army, and we need to scout the area for enemy movement. General Bulford's cavalry is delaying our advance, and he seems determined to defend the ridge west of the town. He could be supported by infantry. We have to find out by attacking them. So with our corps, we will, of course, attempt to maneuver around the enemy to take the final objective. So to win this, we need to at least hold Cemetery Hill, which shouldn't be too difficult. What is this objective? I don't know. It doesn't tell me. So hold Cemetery Ridge or Cemetery Hill. Hold McPherson Ridge, hold Oak Ridge, or hold Cemetery Ridge, and then hold Little Round Tap on at least one of these. So as long as we hold one of the points in the Union line, we'll win, and as we hold the South Cemetery Ridge, we'll also win as well. We need to take McPherson Ridge, Oak Ridge, and Seminar Ridge. Don't know what these are, if I'm honest. I wish I did, but I don't. Seminary Ridge, Oak Ridge, and McPherson Ridge, so we need to hold all three. Shouldn't be too difficult to achieve. And we will see how well this plays out. He's got a lot of skirmishers. But nothing I don't think I can't handle. Aim is to knock out those cannons as well. The first corps led by General Raiders is marching towards our position. So this is supposed to simulate the slowing and sort of escalation of the battle. I know I will have reinforcements from the north, so I intend to use those reinforcements to sweep down and take Oak Ridge, and these troops instead will move over into the right flank. Those damn black-hatted fellows again, take no militia. It's the army to Potomac. Oh god, it's the Iron Brigade. I'm going to retreat these guys back because they're taking a pounding. The aim here is to hopefully bring these guys to bear. Yeah, push them off to position. I mean, so far so good. Not too bad. As casualties go. No, in fact we're doing pretty well in terms of the casualty front. More Yankees are coming. More divisions of the first corps into the fray. It seems we have invited the whole army to Potomac. Thankfully, we have more reinforcements. Where are my reinforcements? Exactly. Several brigades of 1st Corps spotted the army to Potomac is assembling at Gettysburg, so we must secure the high ground. That has been done. I'm going to send reinforcements down to re-secure this. A lot of Union troops gunning down. And 5 reinforcements are here. Maybe send 1 corps back down over here just in case I need more troops for the next phase. Quite the battle. Luckily, my troops can do the much praised 5-1 in terms of casualties. But these Iron Brigades, damn, they just do not like to quit. That was a bad volley. I don't know why that was so bad, but not going to complain. I got to get a little bit closer on that without taking casualties. No, I can't. These guys, in fact, are so badly damaged, I may even told them to withdraw. I'm sort of checked in terms of my advance as well, unfortunately. I'm just glad my troops are so well trained. A little bit of butchery. And there's not much I can do about it. This is why my best corps is here to do this. General Howard's corps has been spotted marching from the south. He appears to fortify Cemetery Ridge. More of the divisions are coming from the north and northeast. Be prepared for envelopment. This is why we've got these troops here. Begin the march on a run. Cemetery Ridge. There's not a lot of my troops left who can hold out. Against such an onslaught. Risky business to keep using these troops because they're so close to routing. I'm tempted just to withdraw them. Back to stronger defensive lines. And finally reinforcements. This will hopefully shore up our centre. which until this point has been more or less pretty much beaten into submission. What the push. Finally, and these guys can just rush on down. And cavalry's finally here to save the day. Charge! And these guys' function is literally just to hold Cemetery Ridge with whatever troops they've got. The assault failed. The assault failed. Run away. Rally the forces, Marley. You must secure the ridges west of the town and consolidate our army in the vicinity of Gettysburg. If we succeed to capture Cemetery Hill, we will decisively conclude the battle. And that is really what we're here for, just to hold this position to win the battle. Which is of course easier said than done. It's a pretty difficult battle. Not gonna lie. Can I bring up any more troops? Yeah, you're coming up. I'm going to start the brute force tactic. And you may be thinking, well, why do you just wait until you had all those reinforcements? And the reason why is because if you don't take those objectives, then the enemy just retreats back to Cemetery Ridge. That becomes an absolute nightmare to try and shift them from that position. It's another one of those battles which you can save manpower in the long term by losing copious amounts of manpower in the short term. No, Lee, don't be insane. Okay, you can see the terrain here is actually pretty difficult to move up on. I can't use this cavalry anymore, let's retreat them back. And these troops are pretty much done for as well. Retreat. Preserve what's left. Keep going. Don't let him dig in. I know you're tired, but you can hold. Fight the battle. Involves copious casualties. Retreat back to guys who are just completely crippled. And send whatever's left up. I had to push them out of Gettysburg, which has slowed me down a little bit. Normally I clear it beforehand, but I guess I didn't bother this time. I didn't think it'd be that much of a problem. Another slaughter. Another butcher's battle. Still better than what was the historical Gettysburg, I suppose. Doesn't help their equipment's actually pretty good as well. And that ends the Battle of Gettysburg. You can see by in terms of casualties, we lost 369, about 30% of our army there. 30% of our army. But this prevents the massive battle that occurs over 3 days, which can save you a lot of time and pain and suffering. Looking in hindsight, what I probably should have done is I should have reinforced but not assaulted once the second group of reinforcements came in the centre, and then once the guys from the north attacked, do a conjointed assault, whereas I assaulted too early in the centre. My attack was repulsed, and then the secondary attack came in from the north. It was still successful, but because of that, it was a uncoordinated offensive. I wasn't able to break through as effectively, and I took a lot of casualties doing that. On the other hand, my troops did extremely well. The veterans see to hold for as long as they did, but it was a very difficult affair. Now, we could, of course, have just won the battle and not gone to this, just waited to the second or third day, but that involves even larger conflict over even a longer period of time, over defensive and fortified positions, whereas the first day, if you can win on Gettysburg, means that you won't have to fight entrenchments and you won't have to deal with the massive amounts of Union corps coming in. It was not the best battle. You can probably tell, you're going to tell it in a second by looking how badly damaged my troops are, but it's a battle which I can afford to replace troops on. So if we just go to our training, get rid of that 25% reduction, and then slowly rebuild our army up to an acceptable standard again. We have to use veterans for our main force because, unfortunately, these guys are supposed to be my elite. So the elite did indeed get truly obliterated in this battle. but it was better than the alternative, so I'm not going to complain too much. It was definitely better than the alternative, which was almost absolute annihilation.
Sir, yes, sir.
Alas, financially speaking, this is going to break the bank a little bit. So I'm going to go to my army and start selling some of my equipment. And that will hopefully recoup my losses. That's a lot of Springfields. Yeah, now I'm pretty confident in my ability to recoup my losses for my troops. Veterancies are so important. So at this stage of the war, I'm going to need these veterans for breaking through enemy defensive positions. So that is why we're spending so much money on our veterans. Because if we don't, we're going to end up in a situation where we simply take far too many casualties and we just become ineffective at breaking through enemy lines. What I would treat veterans as is they're the extra troops that keep the morale high enough to get close enough to the enemy to break through the new positions. If your veterancy isn't high enough, then what's going to happen is your guys will get repulsed in the first wave and then be too weak to push in the second wave. So that's why I try and treat my veterans like an elite force in regards to pushing as hard as I can with these weapons. Oh yeah, and I got to upgrade these guys, but these guys aren't as bad, so as battles go, Gettysburg was not the Confederate destruction it could have been. It was just another a bludgeoning tactic. Which is a common theme which you'll be seeing throughout most of the campaign now, is this sort of bludgeoning as you try and where you don't have enough time to maneuver and you're constantly aware of enemy reinforcements coming in. In truth, I was a bit peeved with that failed second assault. But at the end of the day, it did the job. It achieved what it needed to achieve, and so I can't complain too much.
Sir, yes, sir.
And let's get our final guy, so let's turn these guys into cover and melee. Speed and stamina, cover and melee. No, it could have been an awful lot worse. Actually, I'm quite happy with that end result. Well, it's a bit disappointing because people want to see the whole battle, but it's not in your interest to fight the whole battle as the Confederacy. And if you want to see the siege of Washington, then you're going to have to bite the bullet. I believe that's everyone with the best weapons I can give them. Apart from a couple of Enses. A couple of Enfields which I can change out. A couple of Mississippis. Can't believe you guys have still got the Mississippis. Yeah, we'll change these guys out when we have got more cash. The only issue with this is now, as you can probably tell, the Union Army has now got 154k of troops because they weren't all using the battle, so we are now going to have to really rely on blitzkrieg brute force tactics. before the Union can bring their entire army to bear, which is something you haven't really seen in the Confederate campaign yet. One moment. Sorry, boys, I've got a work message. I've gotta send the message. Okay, there we are. So, this is moving towards Hell Mode, which is across Chattanooga. Which is awful, absolutely awful. And I'm going to buy more manpower. For the next and final corps, if I can afford it. If not, I'll just have to equip them with cannon fodder equipment and just send them in. But it's getting to the point where the Union Army is now starting to dwarf me. Of course, you could beat it down the size a little bit, but towards the end of the war, you're always going to have like that 2 versus 1 ratio. That's by the elastic band mechanic. And so I prefer to win and conserve my troops early rather than actually fight entire battles now, trying to win decisively before the battle goes on for too long. Anyway, we're going to move on before we get to my least favourite level, which is Chickamauga, or whatever it is. But the time is now the 11th of July 1863. The fortress city of Vicksburg has fallen to General Grant's army, and our western defences are progressively collapsing. The capital of Mississippi, the city of Jackson, has been pillaged by General Sherman's corps before a month, and its railroad connections have been destroyed. Although Jackson's strategic importance has been severely lessened, it is the next barrier to defense versus the Western Union forces. The Confederate Secretary of War has directed to move one of your corps to Jackson to reinforce the garrison. Before you manage to set up your brigades, it has been reported that Sherman is advancing towards the city from the east. You must quickly man the west fortifications of the city and repel the attackers. If we defeat the Federal army, then we could buy enough time to organize our forces in Jackson and head west to recapture Vicksburg. That never happens, but the siege isn't too bad. Actually, it's a pretty good siege in regards to conserving troops, but the big F issue is not really the siege itself, but we're getting to a stage now where the resources available to us are getting worse and worse. So, the fortress city of Vicksburg has fallen to General Grant's army, and our western defences progress. Oh yeah, we've already read that. So we send our best corps in as per usual. General, we've been assigned to man the entrenchments west of Jackson to stop Sherman's advance. The defensive works from this area and end here. We don't have enough forces to occupy the whole fortification network, so we need to wisely decide where to focus our defences. The rest of your brigades will arrive shortly in this direction. Sherman's main attack is expected from this direction, but he'll most certainly try to surround us. So immediately bin the cavalry, get another cannon, get some more infantry, and take a look at the scenario. So in this scenario, it's very much defensive. You can, of course, abandon this bulge. I don't know to tell you what it looks like, but you can abandon the PP and move into the forest and hold here instead, which is a good idea if you so choose. And of course you need to hold this sector on the left. So using whatever troops you have to spare, you will be mostly doing a bit of everything here. And then we retreat our troops back, set them up in here. So probably not a good idea, probably better do this instead. 1, 2, 3. And then the cannons can move down to form a battery at the bulge. Notice this bulge. Oh, woo, what's this? Hold here. And then for the areas without any sort of defenses, we can of course click T and send our skirmishers up to hold these parts here. And now we have to micro the cover system a little bit. Get as much cover as possible. And where do we have a spare core? Over here. So we move our spare core over here, just in case. And this cannon can move over onto the left flank. You can see now their numbers are getting uber big. Not uber big, but you know what I mean. Getting there. And they have found our weak point, so immediately we send these guys up. Send these guys over here. And master cannons over there as well. I should be able to hold. Our troops are better. And finally the reinforcements appear. Don't think they're going to flank, but we'll put our cav up here just in case. And move our cavs to be in a counter charge situation. And move our cannons up over here as well. Actually, we'll move this cannon over here. Pretty much point blanking me. Well, so far so good. I can sit here all day. We may put some more on logistics next point. I have to be a bit careful here, because I'm well aware of what they're trying to do. I can't afford that breakthrough in the hills up north. But the longer they do this, the weaker they'll get, so it's not too bad. Nice work. I mean, I ordered you to do that, but it's not the point. Still winning that engagement. I'm going to move his cannons over so we just mash our cannons on the left. I'm going to redirect more troops over here because we are beginning to get attrition on our troops. But not as badly as they are, so hey ho. Getting pretty rough. They're starting to taste all my flanks. But there's no pushes on the right, which I'm quite happy with. Although saying that, they are beginning to move troops over. I just want Cold Harbour now. Cold Harbour's sort of the last big battle before the end. We'll be fine here. We've got plenty of troops to hold that. The only concern was up here, but that's been more or less dealt with. Only 200 casualties, but you used to have 1,500. Oh, 200 deaths, I see. So that must be the medicine mechanic kicking in. Yeah, I can't find better cover. 62 cover here. I'll take that. Oh, they pushed me off the position. Stop pinging. This is just about putting out fires. As long as you keep putting out the fires on the enemy lines, you should be pretty good. The problem is once they break through, that's when things slowly get a bit oof. That's not irritating. Hello, enemy cavalry. How did you get in my lines? Apart from being a bit of a pain in the ass. Not really that bad. Should be a bit more careful when I move troops up for this. Finish the battle. So the casualties are pretty even Stevens here, but it's the artificial limiting of my manpower that's such a problem. I mean, they had 29,000 by 21,000, but that doesn't feel right because you could probably tell my troops are too stretched, so I don't think that's an accurate representation. But regardless, this battle is a pretty easy battle. It's just putting out fires until the time's up. And you can see it's a good way to get your stats back up into a good shape. Like so. Especially if you haven't taken too many casualties in that battle. But these guys did. But it's not too bad. Again, not too bad. A couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. I can live with a little bit of decrease in capability. As long as I stay around that 2-star level, I'm a pretty happy chap. Not enough CS Richmonds. It looks like I have to downgrade you to the Harper's Ferry boys. 1-5, 1-5, 1-5. Yeah. It's good. We could put one more logistics, our army org, one more. And then we can add another artillery piece, perhaps. And just do massed artillery. Probably shouldn't have sold all my artillery pieces then. There's the Napoleons.
Yes, sir.
Well, have I still got lots of Enfields? You're going up to Enfields because I can't afford anything else. Money is tight in the Confederacy right now. Let's take a look at Chickamauga before we continue. 25, tomorrow's reinforcements 25, so I go back to camp. That's some more artillery pieces. Whatever's the cheapest. It's actually cheaper for having infantry now, which is quite unique for the Confederacy.
Yes, sir.
And a whopping 25,000, 50,000 troops for that battle. This is going to be costly. I know it's going to be costly, and there's not much I can do about it. Regardless, time to begin the battle. So save here. And after this battle, you're pretty much on the gravy train until the the attack of Washington. So, because we won Vicksburg, not Vicksburg, Gettysburg, they've got minus 10% army size. That's not really going to affect them that much because they've still got 140k left to spare. But moving on to the battle, on 18th of September 1863, the Union Army of Cumberland under Major General William Rosecrans has driven off all Confederate forces from Middle Tennessee after a series of excellent executed strategic maneuvers. In early September 1863, Rosecrans renewed his offensive and occupied the city of Chattanooga without much resistance. He was ordered to send 2 corps and stop Rosecrans' advance. As Rosecrans marches south, your army moves to attack him while his forces are divided. Rosecrans seems unaware of our plan and assembles his army in order to retreat to one body into Chattanooga via the Lafayette Road. So the vanguard, best troops, and then Timo's reinforcements, the second best troops. This is a butcher, this is a slaughter, that's all I can tell you. It's not really a very effective engagement. You will be destroyed in this battle because the Union supremacy of manpower is really shown in this battle. So Rosecrans' forces are divided and marched south. He senses our attack and has begun to consolidate his army. His forces are moving down this road. And this passage, I don't really know the historical part of this battle. All I know is that the West is pretty much screwed at this stage. And the road that leads to Lee and Gordon Mill. The bulk of his army will probably rendezvous here to head north to Chattanooga. The Lafayette Road must be secured to stop the withdrawal. Up to this section of McDonald's farm. Armies coming from 3 main directions will soon cross the Chickamauga Creek from Reed's Bridge and Alexander's Bridge. Dalton and Frederick's force. We must advance and prepare to attack Lafayette Road today. It's a bad battle. Minty's cavalry is currently delaying our advance to Reed's Bridge. However, our brigades are slowly pushing them back and will soon cross the river. Alexander's Bridge is guarded by Wilder's Lightning Brigade, fully armed with Spencer rifles. Using elite troops to guard the bridges suggests Rosecrans knows of our intentions and may be preparing to trap us. You're probably right there. All I know is cannon spam and hoping for the best. These battles are atrocious. Butcheries and at least with the previous battles there's some degree of maneuver. In this battle it is just annihilation, absolute annihilation. I will literally be hobbling to the finish line on this. So for victories I need to take Kelly's Field, Brotherton Cabin, Vineyard Field, or hold Gordon's Mill, or hold Kelly's Field, hold Brotherton Cabin, inflict at least 10% more casualties, hold Horseshoe Ridge, hold... It's just so much to hold. I have no idea where all of this is. That's half the battle, is actually finding out what you need to take to win this battle. You've probably seen this battle on map before, on the skirmish mode. Just trying to aim to pick this guy off. Slowly push him off that way. I don't know if I actually have to win this battle though. I mean win the starting battle, or whether or not this is a prelude. Yay, cavalry, useless cavalry. Literally useless cavalry. I might even get rid of his cavalry. Getting to the point where I can't really use them anymore. That's nice, you found another ford. Yeah. Yeah. It be like that. It do be like that. I mean, I could go in for round 2, but wouldn't recommend it. Dalton's Ford, Fedor's Falls, and all river crossings must be held until nightfall. Right. Let's go on the right hand side, shall we? And see if we can sweep the field here. I'd like to pretend this was worth it, but I'd be lying. Especially because my cannons are now going to get mown down by enemy skirmishers. Push it. Who will win? 3 corps of infantry or 1 skirmy boy? Yay. Yeah, my cannon's just been completely knocked out. Ah! Clown zone. Clown zone. I'm going to need those cannons as well later. Good thing I bought 2 more. There's got to be someone here lurking. They wouldn't leave that fort undefended. See if I can go save those cannons. The last of our reinforcements. That's no good to me. My army's already been obliterated. Mostly the cannons though. The cannons are the ones that got obliterated. Oh, not early. What a shame. Fine, I don't care about that. Troops are alive. We're going to camp and we're reinforcing them. This is something you can do as well, which I didn't know you could do. And it's going to save me. If I have any money, which I don't. Armory, I gotta sell stuff, but I can't sell stuff because I got no money. Gotta buy money. Taking a risk here.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't cost me anything. Gotta change the weapon, but I can't change the weapon. I can't re-equip my armies. That's not good. Anyone else got any CS Richmonds I can discard? Yeah, you can got CS Richmond, but I can't delete you. They've all got weapons. The wrong kind of weapons. Change, please, please. Anyone not? That's all I can do. Yesterday, the Yankees gave a good fight and prevented a further advance. Today, more Union brigades are defending Lafayette Road, and reinforcements may have been sent to hold Lee Gordon's mill. Strength grows over time, and officers have agreed upon an attack yet to begin in about an hour. However, our pickets detected enemy movement towards our right flank. Could it be a Union assault or feint to distract us? It is the end of the world. It is the apocalypse. It's coming. It is absolute annihilation. We've spotted enemy forces marching down this road. While we prepare for frontal attack, we cannot allow the Federals to threaten our right. The ground near Jay's mill must be secured. For the same reason, we must also hold Brotherton's Road Junction. Reinforcements will arrive from Alexander's Bridge. Which troops have not been used yet? So we get rid of that. Put the 15th K down here. The cavalry can go immediately. Fuck you, Kev. 15,000. 15,000 on 2 flanks on the right. On the left. Have I got another 15,000 K troops? That's close enough. That's close enough. I forgot how we defend this front. I can't remember. Can't remember. And then move the supply wagon down here, because the supply wagon is where most of the annihilation will occur. Any cannons are going down here to form the pivot. That's our pivot point. But what you're about to see is a literal horde of troops come careening down. So to win, I need to hold Lee Gordon's mill or Kelly's field and Brotherton cabin. Not the best kind of troops either, sadly. Tempted to even bring another corps down here. Hey, this cover's better than nothing. I wonder what the cover's like if I set up here. 82%. Could be worse. I'll take that. Because it's old trees as well, there's just no hope of getting troops around quickly. Useless cavalry. And pretty garbage infantry now moving down as well. Nice. You don't fool me for a second with your 2,000 troops. If I could, I'd push you off that position. Might be able to. Go away, Minty. Please shoot this, please shoot this, please shoot this. Please shoot this, please shoot this. I wonder if I'm going to send my scouts just to keep chasing him. That might work. Ah! What am I talking about? Send the cav. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Yeah, the pain train. The pain train's inbound. Choo 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 choo. Our final batch of reinforcements are coming in. You should win this engagement, he says. Retreat. I hope you like running. Yeah, I don't care about Brotherton's Mill anymore. You keep that. Do I even need Brotherton's Mill? Yeah, I do. Suggest you turn to face this guy because you'll die otherwise. Hup. 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 There's nothing to be done about this. All you can do is hopefully wear them out. I hope the Union tykes get tired of beating the shit out of you. Apparently we have a chance to breach the defences. We don't. There is no chance of breaching the defences. The battle is heating up and it appears we have false information. Rosecrans's left flank was much further north than we expected and now pressing us south. Our course is shifting north to reinforce our right. Our primary objective is to gain control of Union positions here, here, and here. So what do I need to take? So I need to take at least one was filled, whole Vineyard Field and whole Brotherton Road, Kelly's Field and Brotherton Road. Or hold Kelly's Field again. You want me to literally flank all the way around like that? You are insane. Game, you are insane. Do you understand what that's expecting me to do? You guys should push up here and run. And these guys shall move over here with what's left of that army. And I'll try not to cry. And I will cry a lot. I wonder if I can just shift this artillery up north as well and just make it form a big old grand battery. Literally seething and shaking and pissing and farting right now. It's another one of these levels. It's a stone's harbour, but with copious amounts of Union troops that overwhelm you and outnumber you. I hope you enjoy it. Tee hee. Now, how on earth am I supposed to break this? I suppose we'll just set up on 3 corners and hopefully just mow them down that way. That's the best we can do. This army will move to reinforce this. Cannons will move forward. Let's see if we can turn that flank. This ain't gonna achieve much. This ain't achieving much. Do 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 do. Seething hard. Raging much. Oh, this worked. Charge! We got some running to do, an awful lot of it. So many troops. Okay, send these two up to help push over here. Cannons, you're insane, but I do appreciate the thought. And then these guys will just stay here and hold that position. These guys will move forward. I'll leave one soldier there, and then these guys can move forward and hopefully get some flanking action on, and we can hopefully break through there. Run this way. Set up in that forest in case they do decide to do any funny business. Lee, you can chill here. Good, artillery work. Artillery do good. Artillery do good. Artillery do good. Troops get woefully flanked. Try not to cry. Cry a lot. Run away. Run away from the bad men. You know what? There's only one solution to this, and that is stupidity. I ain't got time for strategic genius. The time is now. I will simply go around you. Where's my cavalry? Do something useful. Sheridan, no. You're cringe. Don't be cringe. You know the drill. Absolutely idiotic charges to save manpower. How? Strategic genius, that's how. How dare anyone doubt my ability to achieve victory? That's literally being an idiot. Reserves? Do I have any reserves? No, of course not. Any troops that are not being used in the idiotic defense have to go this way. Everyone else is to literally march behind the enemy lines. I don't think I can get any more troops up this way, so yeah, you're all literally marching behind enemy lines now. Your job is to ignore the enemy and go behind them. And hope you can. Because God help you if you can't. Oh, no. Charge. Charge. Remember, I'm a strategic genius. I need to hold Jay's Mills, Kelly's Field, and Brotherton Mills. Yeah, that's perfectly achievable, isn't it? Especially because most of my army's dead. No, Lee, not a good idea. You go up this way. We ain't got any troops left. There ain't no one left. And I can't afford to get any further north. Longstreet's final units will not arrive until midnight. Therefore, maybe we should be conservative to secure our right flank. No, we're so close. It's true my troops have been obliterated, but it's for a worthy cause, and if I'd known I'd one more turn, I would not have been this idiotic with my troops. If I knew I had 3 more hours before the end of the battle, I would not have been this, how do I put it? Retarded. I love it when the enemy constantly flanks me. Ah! Guerrilla warfare. I hate this map. I hate this map. I hate this map. I hate this map. And then everyone else to the final position. Preferably before my troops run out of manpower and rout. Hup. Like so. No, oh no, the cavalry routed. Oh, what a shame. Don't do it. I know what you want to do, but don't do it. You've got no ammo left, that's understandable. Have you guys got any ammo left? You'll send these guys over there then. This is a strategic victory. If you say otherwise, you are just not, you just can't grasp the high IQ intellect that is this strategic maneuver. I don't blame you. It takes a very high IQ to understand the tactic I'm doing. It's called the Big Chungus strap. Surprised you haven't heard of it before. All the elite gamers know it. Guess you guys just aren't elite gamers. I have lost so much of my army. This is mine. Jay's Mill's taken, this is taken. Just Kelly's Field next. Lee, run! Lee, run! Send this guy back over here. Oh! No! What, are you telling me the battle's not over? Okay, send these guys back down to save this. Send these guys back down. Wow. Aren't you guys a bunch of arseholes, eh? Wow. My army's a mess. And the troops I'd sent to secure the other objective have now been whacked, surrounded and battered. Yeah, we all know what you've been trying to do to me. Stop! Go away! Now I've got to move troops back down here to somehow salvage a situation that's gone on down there. And one of my elite corps has surrendered. Gordon's Mill, Brotherton Road. Come on. Bring these guys back down here. Where did your 2,000 men come from? I don't think I can make that. Oh my god. It's a slaughter. I've lost my army. My army has ceased to function. No. Please hold. 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 Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a fucking nightmare. So in short, your 39,000 men must go up against 77,000 men. And although I killed 40,000 of theirs, they killed about 80% of mine. So what? 39 is, let's round up to 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 16. Yeah, about 50% of my army is dead. 50% of my army was wiped out. But if I realised I had more time, I probably would have moved a little bit slower. But that whole battle was just garbage. I can just about recoup my armies. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, oh no. No, 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 no. But what have I got left? At least I can make another infantry corps. Have some CS Richmonds. Oh no, no. I mean, I can put 2 in economy, I guess, to reduce the cost, but there ain't much left. Oh no, no. Just bushwhacked the entire time. I lost 2 infantry corps from my most elite unit. Not mad. Time to sell some stuff. Sell the cavalry ammunition and all that garbage. Just sell. Sell, sell, sell. I got obliterated. I got obliterated. I can't pretend I didn't get obliterated. And I don't think I can recoup a lot of my losses. I'm glad I've still got a storage of lesser equipment I can fall back on. Alright, let's turn these all into lesser troops now. Looks like the top corps will just have to stomach the damage. Most of the money will go into salvaging the top corps. I'm not going to spend any large amounts of money for the rest of my corps. I'm not mad. 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 probably the worst battle I've had. It's because you can't do anything because their troops are so much stronger than yours. You can't compete, and the terrain is in their favor as well. Okay, I can afford that just about. Okay, I need to pay that much money, and these guys can be sharpshooters. I can afford cost. The cavalry's no value to me anymore. I mean, you'll keep this cav, but it's just no value. Obliteration. That's grade A obliteration. I mean, what's left will be the elite of the elite, but there's not a lot left. Most of the guns are gone. That's too expensive. I'd do it anyway, but it's so expensive.
Yes, sir.
A ruined core. Ruined. Ruined. I, I, I'm speechless. I'm just broken. That battle breaks me every time. I'll take a penalty loss. Oh no, I won't. That will just be enough to rebuild the army. Ugh, money. I don't even have enough cannons left to really deck out a proper core yet. And with that, the army has been rebuilt. All it takes is one battle when you're done for. And that was that one battle. I mean, I can come back because I've got a reserve corps, but in terms of losses, it's distinctly unpalatable. I can't even afford another corps. No, they've got 200k. But Cold Harbor's not bad. All I gotta do is play some defensive missions just to build up myself, and then we should be fine. We should be fine. Okay, the Battle of Laurel Hill. We'll call it here, I think. We'll call it here because Friday's coming up and we can stream the sort of ending parts. But as you saw, Chickamauga is a nightmare because you are, again, limited to about half, maybe even less, of the Union strength, and you are given the insurmountable task of holding against the Union hordes, which now outnumber you, and also trying to counterattack and flank round them. And you have to decide what to do. Do you try and reinforce the centre and potentially not have enough troops to attack, or do you attack? And I admit, if it's probably one of those ones where you probably should be trying to draw instead of actually win, because it's just such a painful battle. It's so stacked against you that it's almost impossible to come out unscathed. Like, I lost a large contingent of troops here. I only got lucky because I used some of my political points before to build up enough manpower to hold that position. And the rest of our points will now, of course, go into more manpower. But Cold Harbor is the sort of second to final battle. And the final battle is, of course, the taking of Washington. But the nature of the situation now is the AI has now trebled the sort of the number of troops we have, and we will have to try and wear them down slowly but surely. But good luck doing that, bearing in mind that it's pretty much ogre. It's ogre. We can win though. We've got 4 cores, it's a healthy number. If we have to, we can close down some of the cores for the 4th core. This is sort of the number we need to win, so I'm not too worried yet. We've still got enough to at least have some sizable chance against the enemy. Regardless, I'm pretty worn out from Chickamauga. It's an awful battle, a costly battle, and I don't want to play anymore today because of just how bad that battle is. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all had a good one, and I'll see you all later. Adieu.